All right, good evening. Yes, I am in a baking kind of mood today. I know I promised that I would make the heavenly hash cake, but I did realize that Easter is coming up and my mom's favorite candy of all time is the heavenly hash candy. So I'm going to make that for Easter. So I'm going to make a lemon torte today. You're going to need a box of cake mix. You can use the butter golden. That's the best one I've found. You're going to need 3 eggs. You're going to need 1 stick of softened butter, and you're going to need a lemon. Now we're going to squeeze the lemon and get all the juice out. We're also going to use the zest. Now, if it's not enough to make 2/3 of a cup, you're going to add a little bit of water. So it's mainly going to be lemon juice for your cake mix. And then for your icing, you're going to have a can of condensed milk, not cream, condensed milk, Cool Whip, cream cheese, and another lemon. Again, we're going to use the lemon zest from here and some of the lemon juice. We're not going to use as much because you don't want the want it to get too runny. So anyway, I'm going to get the cake mix mixed up. I'm going to get my lemon zested and squeezed, and I'll go to the next step. Okay, so since you needed 2/3 cup of juice, I had a small lemon, so I wound up zesting 1 lemon and squeezing 2 lemons in here. And I would recommend using fresh lemons, not the lemon juice concentrate. So you're gonna need even squeezing 2 small lemons, I got like 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice, and the rest is water up to 2/3 of a cup. Okay, so we've got our cake mix, lemon zest from 1 lemon, softened butter. I'm gonna put in my 3 eggs. Okay, and my juice. Now we're gonna get this mixed up, and we're gonna put this in 2 floured, greased and floured pans. So I'm gonna get this mixed up, and then I will go to the next step. And you're gonna wanna mix this. You don't wanna over mix a cake, but you are gonna want to make sure it's light and fluffy and mixed real well, okay? Okay, so the cake mix is done. It's going to be thick. Now remember, this is a torte, so it's going to be a little bit thicker. It's going to be more of a thicker texture. It's not going to be as airy as you would with the regular cake. Now, to grease and flour, I always use Baker's Joy. To me, this just makes everything so much easier. You don't have to worry about being too over floured or any of that stuff. So you just kind of spray your pan with that, okay? I'm going to get this poured up. I'm going to put it in the oven at 350, and it's going to go in there for 30 minutes or until it starts pulling away from the sides. I will time this out and let y'all know exactly how long it takes. Just real quick, since it is thicker, you're going to divide this into your 2 pans, and then you're going to have to spread it out and try to, even it as much as possible. And then you're just going to get it, like I said, as even as you possibly can. You can shake it before you put it in the oven. The cakes just came out of the oven. As you can see, they've pulled around away from the edges, and they're also, you could do the toothpick test, but you can also, when you're making a cake, if you press it and it bounces back, it is done. So this has to cool for 10 minutes still in the pan. Then we're going to flip it, and we're going to put it on the racks, and it's going to be on directly on the rack until they're completely cool before we start doing the filling. So once this gets onto the rack and start almost cool, we'll go ahead and make the filling. Okay, so while the cake is finishing cooling, we're going to get everything mixed up. I've got a stick of cream cheese in here and the zest from 1 lemon. Now, I did go back and look at my recipe. Sometimes I forget stuff. And it does call for a 1/2 cup of lemon juice. So it took 4 small lemons to get 1/2 cup of lemon juice. So again, I prefer regular lemons versus the concentrate you buy in the store. Something else I wanted to say, if you're more of a key lime pie kind of person, instead of using the lemon, I like lemon better. I prefer lemon. So, but if you prefer if you want this to taste more like key lime, just substitute everything I said for lemon and use lime, okay? So I'm gonna get this, I got the cream cheese mixed up, and then I'm gonna pour in, let me turn this off, okay? You just need to get that mixed, and I'm gonna pour in, you can see how thick this stuff is. I'm gonna get this poured in here. Okay, so I didn't pour the whole, if you've ever used this condensed milk, it is super sweet. So I didn't use the whole container. I used most of it, but not all of it. So we're gonna get this mixed up now. And as this is mixing up, and again, this is gonna need to be completely mixed. Turn this up a little bit. All right, and then we're gonna add our lemon juice. Okay, whoop. Turn it down a little bit. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna get this good and mixed. You're gonna want this fluffy, so you're gonna need to mix until it's well mixed and it's fluffy, okay? Okay, so now that you got it mixed up, you can see it's gonna be thinner than your normal would be, because again, this is a torte. This is not just your regular icing. So you're gonna take your Cool Whip, and now we're gonna fold this in. And if you've watched me before, or if you've ever folded, you know you have to fold. You do not wanna mix this because you want it to stay light and fluffy, and you don't wanna turn your whipped cream back into cream. So I'm gonna get this all folded, and then I will get the cake over here, and we will do the fun part, of trying to cut that into pieces. So let me get this mixed up, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, wish me luck on this part, because what we have to do is we're gonna have to cut these in half. So I used to have one of them things that you slid across, but I don't anymore. So I have to try to do this. Kind of like I've seen people do this online, just kind of go around. So hey, I'm getting there. I'm doing it. All right, I think I did it. I think. Let's see. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, so you're going to do that with the other cake, and you're going to put a good blob of it on here, and you're just going to spread it out. Okay? And you want a good coating on this. All right, and then you're going to put this one over it. Okay, and then we're going to do that again. We're going to put some more on here, and then I'm going to go get the other cake. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to finish the layers out, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so I've got all the layers done. As you can see, you've got 4 layers, and in between each one, you've got your lemon cream. Now again, if you're more of a key lime person, you can change this to lime, and it's going to taste more like a key lime cake or key lime pie. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. I would say I was going to cut into it. I forgot my last step. We're going to put this in the refrigerator, and it's going to need to stay in the refrigerator. I'm going to put it in a cake dish, regular covered. It needs to be covered in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours, because you want everything to, the icing and everything, to the cream and everything to kind of gel the way it's supposed to. So it's going to be about a couple of hours, so I'm not going to cut into it tonight, but you can see what it looks like. And I promise you, I tasted the cake mix, and I tasted the icing, or the cream, and it tastes delicious, I promise. So again, if y'all have any questions, let me know. If not, enjoy, y'all.